Hello everyone, I am Devashri Tripathi from University of California, Riverside. I'm going to present our work, Slumber, Static Power Management for GPGPU Register Files. GPUs have become the most promising high-performance computing engines. It is found everywhere, even in your laptop. It can run any program written in CUDA. It outperforms the CPU for data parallel tasks. But in order to enable frequent thread switching without paying the context switching penalty, GPUs incorporate a large register file where the context of each thread is stored in a dedicated physical register. It accounts for a large fraction of the chip area and power consumption. It is even bigger than the L2 cache. The GPU register file has grown over the years as the computing capability of the recent microarchitecture increases. The leakage energy of the register file has also increased with the size. Latency hiding is ensured in the GPUs by a large number of active threads. They are underutilized when the warps go for a long latency operation and the associated registers are idle. Many times the warps cannot be scheduled due to a data dependency or structural hazard in the pipeline. As GPUs have been employed in various application domains, the varying degrees of parallelism in the application activity results in huge register file underutilization. It has been observed that on an average, there are 789 cycles of gap between two subsequent accesses to the same register. So now, can we save the leakage power? The existing leakage power reduction technique is power gating. Though it is effective in minimizing the leakage power, but the storage structures are state retentive. Power gating a storage structure shall wipe out their contents. So, undervolting the register file to a state retentive undervolting level called drowsy voltage would save significant amount of leakage energy without sacrificing its contents. We use a trimodal switch to generate three output voltage levels, namely supply voltage VDD, ground, and drowsy voltage. A register circuit can be power gated or undervolted by changing the virtual VDD, where the trimodal switch cuts off the leakage current flow through the target circuit block. Since the undervolting or power gating comes at an overhead, it is important to note that these techniques should only be applied when the idle period length is greater than a specific threshold or break-even time. Break-even time is defined as the minimum number of idle cycles required to compensate the undervolting energy overhead. In order to calculate the break-even time, we need to consider the following parameters. First is idle detect. Idle detect is the time taken by the control circuit to make a decision to power gate the target circuit. T2 to T1 is the time when the sleep signal is delivered to the header device incurring an energy overhead. Since the target circuit is a capacitive load, the voltage cannot change instantaneously at the virtual VDD. As the virtual VDD goes down, the leakage current reduces and the energy savings starts coming up. So as soon as the sleep signal is activated, the voltage at VDD goes down and the amount of leakage energy is saved per cycle and it keeps increasing. Similarly, when the sleep signal is disabled, the virtual VDD does not rise to VDD immediately. It takes time from T3 to T4 to charge the capacitor in the target circuit. The break-even time is determined to be the summation of all these factors. Now the question is, what if the idle period is less than the break-even time? Well, we have instances where the idle periods tend to be shorter. So in order to account for those, we explore other levels of undervolting. If we undervolt to another level, the transition times T3 minus T2, T5 minus T4 are much shorter. So the required idle time is also reduced considerably. We call this voltage as drowsy voltage. We go ahead and explore another level of undervolting, which is bigger than the drowsy voltage but lesser than the supply voltage. So the takeaway, undervolting has shorter transition times and the break-even time is reduced considerably at the expense of little more energy. So we propose slumber where we first explore the break-even time and energy of various undervolting levels and then modify the GPU register file architecture to employ these undervolting levels. The device layer implementation consists of the accurate modeling of different power reduction modes, power gating, deep sleep and shallow sleep, and the associated leakage energy savings and overhead in terms of wake-up latency to the on state using a trimodal switch. Static compiler analysis is used to determine the type of the next register access, whether read or write access. Then a runtime algorithm is used to determine the undervolting level to be applied. The architecture layer consists of modifying the baseline GPU sim to incorporate slumber and integrate the different power modes and overheads from the device layer simulation. Then we explore the state transition delay of the resistors from different voltages to on voltage, that is 1 volt. The primary y-axis shows the voltage applied across the resistor at virtual VDD for optimal static power savings. The secondary y-axis shows the static power consumed by the resistors as a percentage of the maximum static power consumed in on state. The minimum state retentive voltage is 0.3 volt that requires an idle period of 13 clock cycles to be enabled. So take away the break-even time and static power savings for each undervolting levels were calculated. Now the next step is to select the optimum undervolting level. So in order to do that, we explore the frequency of occurrence of each idle cycle. So the figure shows the percentage distribution of the idle cycles based on their length. Over 75% of the idle cycles have a length of more than 16 cycles. And the rest of the idle cycles are evenly distributed across the voltage categories of 0.3 volt and 0.9 volt. Although we can theoretically put a register to power gating after 16 cycles, this is not possible when the next access to register is a read. We have to put it in the deep sleep mode of 0.3 volts. So incorporating multiple sleep states will incur high area overhead. So we define a shallow sleep state which works at 0.9 volt and takes up to 4 cycles and can save 6% of the static power compared to when the register is on. Now let us discuss the different conditions for enabling various undervolting levels. All the registers are in the off state to begin with. When a thread block is allocated to an SM, the physical registers are assigned to all the threads in the thread block. Any unallocated register is power gated to save leakage power. Once the warp has finished executing the kernel, since the register shall be reallocated when next thread block that is allocated to the SM, the physical registers for the warp can be power gated till all the other warps in the thread blocks finish executing the kernel. Next pending access to the register is write, because like when the write is performed, it will reset the register file contents. So the next case is the register is power gated when waiting for a long latency memory or ALU operation. The instructions which can be power gated include integer division, integer shuffle, floating point division, and all double precision operations. Each register is associated with a counter which wakes it up during the write back stage. A 2-bit MSHR tracker per warp keeps track of the L1 miss and L2 miss. The counter for the register is initialized to a value equal to the minimum memory access latency. So next condition is when the next register to be accessed is in a different PC which is not issued to the instruction buffer yet. However, if we compute when the compute operation is less than 16 cycles, then power getting it would have a performance as well as energy overhead. So operations like integer and floating point max, which takes 15 cycles, we switch the corresponding registers to a deep sleep mode. Now let us consider an example where the next access to a register is read. So the register R0 is loaded in PC1 and read in PC2. At the write back stage in PC1, we need to decide the undervolting level for R0. So it depends on the presence of PC2 in instruction buffer. If PC2 does not exist in the instruction cache, then R0 is switched to deep sleep mode. Later on, when PC2 is fetched into the instruction buffer, it is switched to the shallow sleep mode. Now, the instructions waiting for a short latency compute operations like integer and floating point add, multiply, fused multiply, and add are switched to a shallow sleep state. Another situation where the registers are in shallow sleep state is when the instruction is in the instruction buffer but not ready to be issued by the warp scheduler because of the structural or data dependency hazards. Once the instruction is marked to be ready to be issued in the next 4 cycles, the register are switched to on state. Then the register is ready to be used by the operand collector stage and the write back stage. Let us now visualize the functionality of slumber using an illustrative example. So we have two PCs using R0. R0 is loaded at PC1 and later on read at PC2. And each register has 4 undervolting levels or 4 modes of deep sleep, shallow sleep, and on state. First, to begin with, both the registers R0 and R1 are in the off state. When PC1 enters fetch stage in the pipeline, it encounters PC miss at the instruction cache. So R0 continues to be in the off state till the instruction cache is loaded with the cache line comprising of PC1 and PC2. So now PC1 is forwarded to the decode stage where the register R0 is associated with PC1. So R0 now switches to shallow sleep state as PC1 proceeds to the instruction buffer. In this stage, PC2 also enters the decode stage of the pipeline. Next cycle, PC1 moves forward to the issue stage. PC2 moves to the instruction buffer. So the associated register, which is R1, now switches to the shallow sleep state. So PC1 will wait till the warp scheduler marks it to be ready to be issued to the functional unit. So as soon as it is ready, the associated register R0 is switched on and the value is being used at the operand collector stage. So after that, PC1 proceeds to the memory stage of the pipeline. Here there are two possibilities. Either it will be L1 hit or L1 miss. In case of L1 hit, R0 is written back, but in case of L1 miss, R0 is switched off for a specific number of clock cycles, which is determined from the MSHR tracker. If we have a L1 miss but L2 hit, then the register is in off state for 250 clock cycles, which is the access latency of L2. But if it has a miss in L2 as well, then it switch keeps in the off state for 400 clock cycles, which is the access latency of DRAM. Now the architectural support. Each register here is associated with a 10-bit counter to wake up after the predicted idle period. So we are enabling different power modes by connecting 128-byte register to a multiplexer, and each multiplexer has 4 input signals: supply voltage, ground, deep sleep, and shallow sleep. The 2 sleep states are generated by varying the configuration of the trimodal switch. Then we have a 2-bit control signal from the slumber control logic to select between different power modes. The slumber control logic decides the power mode for a given register based on the input from the operand collector, thread block scheduler, warp scheduler, instruction buffer, and MSHR tracker. So the operand collector helps to undervolt the registers after the read is complete. Thread block scheduler switches off the unallocated registers. Warp scheduler marks the future warps to be ready in the on state, and instruction buffer switches the registers into the shallow sleep mode, and the MSHR tracker notifies of a L1 or L2 miss. So now the evaluation results. So on an average, we save 63% of the compensated idle cycles in the off state. We say a idle cycle is compensated when we have positive energy savings for that cycle because of any undervolting level. And then 53% are in the deep sleep state, 20% are in the shallow sleep state. Even though the idle cycle length of over 75% cycles was more than 16, but only 26% could be power gated because for the read accesses, the registers cannot be power gated. Finally, we evaluate the leakage energy savings of slumber with respect to the baseline as well as warp register file. Slumber saves static energy by 94% compared to the baseline. It saves 9% more energy than the warp register file with a minimum performance overhead of about 1.2% compared to the baseline. So to summarize, we propose a static power management technique, slumber, which reduces the leakage energy consumption of the register file when they are idle. It predicts the idle period length at the runtime and decides the appropriate undervolting level to minimize the performance impact, at the same time maximize the energy savings. The overheads for undervolting and power gating we estimated using a detailed device level simulation and incorporated it by re-architecting the existing register file. Overall, our technique results in significant leakage energy savings of 94% on an average over the baseline. Thank you for your attention.